taxes, we did in May get revenue, and it normally dips down in May, and so it did follow the trend. The trend, or what was in May, was still higher than outside of last year, because last year was an anomaly. So the 5 previous years, it was still about $90,000 higher. So it was still good, but it did dip down as normal. The sales tax are starting to now in March continue to show signs of the pressure on inflation, increase of gas prices, and so sales tax is, I would say, probably starting to normalize. We had an increase because of the level of tax playing field, so we're still trying to figure out where that median is. So the rest of the year will continue to give us really good information as to what to expect. The only other thing I want to point out was that the IMRF fund has now joined the party, and they are a fund that will be getting back into fund balance policy once the property taxes come on. So other than that, those are just kind of the few major highlights I want to share with you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Julie? Not? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Rachel, we heard you get on, so we know you're with us. So. Accounts payable. Now Heather can step up.
Good afternoon.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so in your packet are the May 22 accounts payable. We are following the purchasing policies and expenditures, making sure the expenditures are charged to correct accounts. We've had minimal issues with invoices coming in. I would say on any given check run in the month of May, we had 0 issues in some weeks and a maximum of 3 issues of invoices in other check runs. We work with the departments to correct those issues and have them corrected before they're run and put through the system and posted. So it's been really a smooth process having conversations with departmental staff. And we are making progress on that account code kind of cheat sheet that I mentioned last month. And we will be working that into training that will roll out later this summer. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Just for everybody else, that she's talking about on accounts payable is basically a report we got from the auditors in the past, and it's in our packet. And so she's checking to see if there's any anomalies or people that are not following process and procedures, and that's what she's reporting on. All right, thank you. Okay, Headington Oaks.
That's me again. We have April's month-end financials and the AR report for May's month-end in your packet. Just some items of note. We did file the Medicare cost report that was due May 31st in May, and we expect to receive about $28,000 from Medicare on multiple accounts that were written off in 2021. We're also working with RSM on additional avenues to recoup other Medicare account costs that are still on the books. We continue work with the state's attorney's office on wrapping up hospice accounts, and then later in the meeting we'll have a resolution for assistance on wrapping up Medicaid accounts. I'm happy to answer questions.
Any questions on Headington Oaks on the status of that? Okay. The American Rescue Plan Act?
Yes. So at the chairman's request, this is the first of what will be regular monthly reports on the American Rescue Plan Act funds. As you know, we were allocated about $34.8 million in these funds to be directed toward eligible uses. They're outlined in the Treasury's final rule, and so we are ensuring that anything that is spent against that is in compliance with their rules and regulations. They updated them in January, but there's updated guidance almost on a monthly basis, it seems, so we're tracking that. In this report, just because it's the first time it's available to you, we put in the budgeted amount for this fiscal year that the board approved, and there's a column in there for how much has been spent, so we'll update that monthly. You'll notice that the premium pay is not in this one because this is as of May 31st, and that the premium pay bonus that you approved was run on June 3rd, so that'll be in next month's report. On the backside is a 4-year recommended plan on how the funds will be spent in the categories that the board had approved. In addition to this report, the county is required to file a monthly compliance report with the U.S. Treasury. So our first quarterly report was filed in April. The next one will be filed in July, and that will be shared with you after that is filed as well.
So this being a new report, this is what I kind of asked for. Some people were requesting so we could have see when anything is spent from our original amount for those categories and what it was. Anybody have any questions on this or comments about it? Yes, Steve.
Yeah. First off, thank you for preparing this. This is something that I also was looking for in the last few months, so I think it's very positive. There's a few line items in this year's, and maybe this is not the place to answer, but where are we at with some of these capital projects? I know the public defender, we've talked about that one, the office space, but there's a few of these, the facility space utilization, the courthouse, the public defender, elections commission, and the jail roof. Where are we at? Because we're midway through the year. We have expended $0 on those, so do we have an update?
Hey, great question, Mr. Ricker. Yesterday, Mr. Salzer's committee took action on A&E services for the public defender and IT remodel. The IT remodel is listed as facility space utilization, so look at those two as one project. Construction will go out for bid for construction later this summer, early fall, and then start that work. In regards to the rest of these, many of them are in some form of bid spec preparation, and so we would be looking to put many of these out on the street for competitive procurement about the same time as the remodeling projects for the public defender and the IT space. So some of those will be able to be completed this calendar/fiscal year. Some of them may roll over into early next year.
Yes, Rob.
What's the $700,000 for the election commission?
So that would be if we were interested in site acquisition. That is how much money we had appropriated for that purpose.
Mr. Dillon, you started the ball on this. You have any more questions or like the forum or comments about the forum?
No, I just appreciate having a platform to keep us up to date and the report to follow it so that we have some side idea where money in, money out. So I do
Absolutely.
appreciate it, Chairman.
Any others? Yes, Eden?
I also appreciate it. It helps me with a visual to have this down. On the Peoria County Jail roof, I thought it was more, it's going to cost us more to fix this than 1.25.
But when we prepared the budget almost a year ago, that's how much we plan to spend on replacing the roof that is the portion of the addition constructed in the late 90s. There's an equal amount for the JDC roof, which is oddly enough about the same square footage. The JDC roof is recommended for either FY23 or 24. But at this point in time, that's based on what we've seen. Well, a year ago, what we were seeing, that's what we estimated the price would be. We'll see when the bids come back. Once we put it on the street and the bids come back, what the actual price is.
Okay, good. Good questions. Any further? Okay, thank you. Okay. Then I guess we have a resolution for Headington Oaks consultant fee. Do you want to comment on that?
We need a motion.
Oh, okay. A motion first? Jennifer, thank you. Brandy? Yeah, I thought that was your hand. Okay, second. Okay. Now we can have a presentation. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So, while the nursing home closed in August of 2020, there's still, as you know, a rather large balance due from Medicaid accounts. These require additional effort in communication and negotiation with the state of Illinois. So our council has advised us to utilize the services of a consultant that has expertise and understanding of the state's Medicaid system so that we can address these accounts en masse. So the contract will include helping with reimbursement methodologies and policies, developing strategies for improving reimbursement, advising on state and federal legislative and administrative issues, and communicating with state officials on the county's behalf. So staff recommends the board grant the county administrator authority to enter into a contract with Matt Werner Consulting in an amount not to exceed $42,000 for professional services to resolve these outstanding balances.
Okay, and under conversations with you on this, if we could get out of this contract, was it 15 days or something like that?
Yes.
If he gets the work done sooner, and it would be a proportion of what that number of days were involved.
Correct. He
On the billing.
has it set up as a monthly fee, and we can cancel within 15 days. He's very flexible. He was adamant about the sooner we wrap it up, that's fine with him.
Okay, is there further questions? Yes, Ms. Blair.
So we're looking at a maximum of 42,000, and we are trying to get back, or our balance is 1.2 million. Do we have an idea of how much of that we're gonna get back by zero? It could be anywhere from 0 to 1.2 million, basically.
Correct. When I spoke with him, he thought that if there's appropriate documentation, which I believe that we have, and we can prove that they owe, then they should pay whatever that amount is that they owe. So I'm hopeful on this one.
Wish we had a crystal ball on that.
Yes.
Steve?
I would just ask that we have regular updates, if it's monthly or whatever the right cadence is, on the progress that's being made by this consultant, just so we have a awareness.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Good point. Any other questions? If not, please vote. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Four. Opposed, nay? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Miscellaneous. Any miscellaneous that we have today? Being none, oh, oh, we're gonna have that too today. Ah. Well, I'm skipping over things here. I wrote a note where that was at. Can I have a motion for the executive minutes? Do you want to comment on them after we get a motion? Betty, thank you. And Linda, you had your hand up before. Is it up again? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's the recommendation of the state's attorney's office to continue to hold the previously held minutes because the need for confidentiality still exists, and to go ahead and destroy the executive session audio recordings that are more than 2 years old, except for those that relate to pending litigation.
Okay, any questions, comments? Pretty much what we do all the time. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed, say no. All right, thank you. Miscellaneous, I didn't see any hands before, so I'm assuming there's none. We'll adjourn, and our chairman will be in shortly. Thank you. So, got anything going this summer? Oh, there he is. Mr. Rand, hello there.